has lost control, and you have a passenger that has a deep laceration to a leg.
It's going to be a special episode because I'm here with Dan, the owner of this bullet. He experienced, the worst thing that could happen on the water. We're back here with another episode of Boats in the Hood. We're just going to interview Dan and just get his thoughts on the day and go over his boat and see what happened. Thanks again, Dan.
That's right, no stress.
There's a lot of people out there that have had incidents and accidents in boats, and however the community is, people can tend to keep a lot of things to themselves and not open up or want to keep it hush-hush. But in hindsight, ever since this accident did happen, it's opened up the eyes of a lot of the ski boat community with regards to safety and going over your boat. Unfortunately for Dan and his partner Maddie, it wasn't the case. They had to experience what none of us really want to experience. It's good that you're still around, mate.
Let me tell you.
Yeah, you're here to tell the tale and the story. Do you want to run us through what you can remember?
I don't remember much because I got knocked out, but from what I can see from the damage in the boat, it looks to be that the steering pulley pulled straight out of the fiberglass. From factory, this had never had the pulleys through the gunnel, which it should have been. It was just through the glass. I mean, this is the side it pulled out from over here. That's how thin it is, and that's pretty much how it bolts up, just straight through that. Being a Kevlar lightweight, it's super thin. It just doesn't have much to hold on to. And I guess running a bit more horsepower than the boat's ever had before.
Yeah.
I just took it with it, so.
Yeah, and that pulled out from under the gunnel up here.
Pulled up from under this left side first.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can see there where it's pulled out. Yeah.
We think that, my partner's leg got pretty chopped up a bit. We think the cable's either pumped out and sliced the leg when it's let go.
A lot of people are going to have conflicting opinions. Personally, like if I've watched the video 1,000 times because it's like a tattoo in my brain now, and there is some suspicious looking shadow in the water behind, whether you could have possibly hit a dugong. There is dugong sea cows as they're referred to up here in the water, or if it was just the pulley pulling out, and the rest is history. But we'll go over a few other things as Dan's pointed out, like look at this. Look at the foot throttle, like that is solid 6mm plate, and
well, we know the floor's dropped because that's stayed in.
It's stayed in the floor. It's bent the bracket though.
I've snapped that out. I was still holding the steering wheel in the water, so I had it in my hands when I woke up. I was knocked out. I can kind of remember waking up and having the steering wheel going,
yeah,
what's going on? As
unfortunate it is for Dan, a lot of the fellow members in the ski boat scene here in Australia have since gone over their boats, and I know personally of at least 4 people that have found issues with their boat and wouldn't have picked it up if they hadn't have seen this crash and got scared and worried and done the servicing and maintenance checks on their own boat. So you've probably actually saved what I know of a handful of people from going through a similar incident just because of opening the eyes of other people of what's happened to you here.
Well, even I've had a few people message me and say the same, that they've checked it and found certain things with their steering, and even the cables fraying. A lot of people don't check them. I've always been a real big believer of replacing the cables every 6 months, but a lot of people don't, and I think like if you just check it a couple of times a year, I mean, it could save your life.
Just looking at Dan, you want to run through the injuries just you sustained?
I got flown out of the boat, no idea. Like, I don't remember much other than waking up in water, but my partner got degloved her kneecap and got 9 fractures through her face. We were both wearing life jackets, everything. Then me, I had a fractured neck, 2 broken ribs. I got 4 breaks on my wrist, and then I broke my fibula down here as well, and then got a solid cut through my face. It's been about nearly 5 or 6 weeks now, so I've sort of come good now. I'm pretty much out of all the casts and neck braces and whatever you have to do at hospitals.
It literally happened, I think, a week or just over a week before Christmas, yeah. So it wasn't...
Christmas was eventful in hospital, and
it's not the Christmas that you were hoping to have, but I'm glad you are still around. And the biggest shock for me was just pulling up to the scene and seeing the looks on your faces with regards to the shock and sustaining the injuries, and that, it really rocks your boat if you're a first person responder to an accident.
Are you alright? Alright. What happened? Oh, I got a first aid kit here.
The boat I was in, Dave Kissel, he's actually a fireman, and he had a first aid kit on board.
Yeah, I've just got to get to her leg.
Didn't hesitate to get close, jumped in the water, we threw him the first aid. He sort of looked after you guys in the boat while I was on the phone to the ambulance and the Coast Guards.
Yeah, is that Redland Bay? Yeah, have you been in contact with the boat accident here? We're probably on the east side of between Stradbroke and Russell Island. We've had a steering wheel snap in a boat and it's lost control, and we have a passenger that has a deep laceration to her leg.
So it was a great team effort. Hopefully a lot of other people, if they're put in that situation or scenario, instead of the fight or flight response, have some common sense or just that instinct to take charge.
Yeah, can you please ring 000 for us? We've got to take care of this situation. We've got one boat towing us all to shore now, and we've got other people taking care of the person.
A lot of people will sometimes freeze or not know what to do. All the difference is that one person that can lead and take charge and just make calls and delegate jobs for people. So I knew straight away to tell Dave, get in there, help him, and then I was on the blower and trying to get onto the ambos and responders.
Did you attend to a wound, Dave? It's like from here all the way around here. Oh, is it? I've got a quick glimpse and I could literally see the white bone under her knee. So glad those ambulances we've got here so quick after it's ordered.
We're just lucky you guys were there as well. Like, if I was by myself, the motor snapped jacking plate off the rear, I would have been stuck there, not knowing, like, we were pretty much rooted.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you guys coming back and obviously seeing it, just confronting you guys, but also, like, saved my life, I reckon, or saved us. Me and the missus are so grateful for you guys to be there.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't remember. Yeah, you must have hit your head hard. Did the cable pull out? Whether or not the clamps have snapped on the motor and just pulled the cables and everything, I'm not sure.
He's got a big head injury though, mate. Yeah, no, I'll have a look at it, buddy.
Yeah.
Take care, eh?
Yeah.
Look after Daniel, please. Look after yourself.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, you're alright.
He's alright. He's alive and talking, and you'll be alright.
Even the whole ski boat sort of communities, like, you know, a couple of guys came to the hospital and dropped off gifts for us and stuff, and I've never even met these blokes in real life, but they've seen the thing and shown a bit of compassion. So it was real nice. Like, it's a great community, and like, everyone's super nice in there. I just want to thank everyone for that too.
Yeah, no, you're more than welcome, and let's hope that this is a big learning lesson for everyone else. You've opened the eyes up to a lot of other people to monitor their boats. Always do your routine maintenance and checks before you get out in the water, but we'll just do a quick walk around on the boat.
Damage report, eh?
Yeah, damage report. We're obviously in the boat here now. This has an underfloor.
It's got a
fuel
180 litre tank under the floor, so the tank runs from back here all the way up to under the seat. That's peeled up here, so it's peeled it off the floor. Obviously the tank's lifted underneath. It had a full tank of fuel and a whole 180 litres, which probably didn't help.
Both the seats were completely just sitting in the boat when we pulled up, but we'll jump out and I'll show you this side where Dan's hit the side of the boat as he's got ejected.
That peeled the deck. I think when it spun, obviously it's come the water up there, just peeled that up.
Yeah.
Which actually isn't too bad. There's no cracks or anything anywhere else, so that's a pretty easy fix there. Up the back here, it gets a bit more interesting. This is, you snap the studs off the jacking plate, so that's why the motor went in the drink. Snap them, and it actually snapped the bracket off the midsection. So I peeled the tiller tube, snapped that off, which is sitting over there. And then the motor was pretty much hanging by all its loom and cables in the water.
Yeah.
And then cables did all this, obviously rubbing, and pulled that out. But obviously with the
force of the
spun,
motor.
yeah, just pulled that out. And then around here, when it twisted, it cracked this, which is probably the worst of it, I'd say. Like, that's a pretty decent crack. And then you got this where I've hit it. I've hit this, snap that. And that's pretty much it for the damage. Then a little hole here.
Yeah, it's pretty wild to think how strong this part of the boat actually is when it's one piece, when it's not split like this, and just the rigidity of it.
You can't even like
Yeah,
solid as.
and you've done that with the sheer force of your
When
body
it's spun
flying
that way,
into
I
it.
obviously hit that and snap that.
Yeah, and
Which is
man,
probably what did me my neck and my ribs, because it was the top ribs.
yeah, who knows? And like with your missus and her having a head knock, like who knows if you head-butted each other, if you's head-butted
Yeah,
the
because
boat,
her face was the side of this. So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like we could have headbutted each other.
As you can see under the gunnel here, that's where, from the outside, that's where the pulley was bolted to, that's pulled out. As I was saying to Dan, a couple other members of the Gold Coast ski boat group, another bloke, Timbo, he actually owns a 20-foot bullet, and after seeing this crash, he's gone over his boat, and he's actually found that his was rigged the same way, and the washers on the pulley bracket that he had actually mushroomed over the bolt as well. So his was actually doing very much the similar same thing. And luckily, because of Dan's accident, he's looked at his boat and he's been able to pick up on that and has since made some bigger bracketry and stuff and made his boat safer. So have a look, guys, and follow up on things.
So that's peeled. Obviously snapped that was still boat, but it snapped the whole back of it off.
So for those that don't know, this is part of the tilt trim unit, which goes on there.
Goes on there, here like that. So it snapped all that off, which has obviously caused the motor to go in the water. But everything's pretty much like, the midsection's fine. I think this is a MAD 5 so obviously I want to keep that. I'm going to reuse that. Gearbox was still good. Once I pull all this off, get a new bracket set up, rebuild the power head, because we saved that. That's been sitting in diesel for about 2 weeks. Yeah, that's all good now. All the block, crank, everything's perfect. So I'll rebuild that. We'll go again.
Yeah, you'll be back in the game.
Hopefully
And
not have another Pringle.
yeah, but just looking at how solid and everything these motors and trim units are from Mercury, to be able to look at this in a damage report, like look at all this solid metal where it's the sheer impact and force of the crash is like, that's a pretty solid tilt tube there, and just everything else that's broken. You can't sort of get your head around what happens when you come to such an abrupt stop. Like, we weren't pinned, we weren't flat out, we were pretty much just at a steady pace, and then boom.
It was definitely nowhere near flat throttle. That thing goes, this was a 100-mile-an-hour boat.
Yeah.
Nowhere near that.
Nah.
When you, like, even in videos, you see when it's sitting flat stick, it sort of sits right up out of the water.
Yeah.
Video, it sort of
Nah,
level.
you're level. And
It's just crazy. Like, you think, like, even myself, I never really wore a life jacket, and I started to in this one. We weren't doing speed runs or anything, we weren't prop testing, we weren't doing any of that. We were just kind of cruising around. Had the missus in the boat, she doesn't like to go fast, so we were just kind of cruising. Anything go wrong at any time. You don't even expect that to happen at half throttle. You expect that to happen at flat stick. If something was to go wrong, then so you just always wear your life jacket, I guess. It's like, kind of saved me. I was in the water face down with a life jacket on, so I guess that saved my ass.
yeah, and not only that, as Dan mentioned too, a lot of people they get excited about the day they get out in their boat on the water, and you see it all the time, whether it's a Thundercat or a ski boat or a jet ski. Some people can forget to put that bloody kill cord on.
Well, that saved my motor. So basically with the kill cord, when I flang out, it's pulled the kill switch off. So the motor's not hydrolocked, the rods, everything, nothing was bent. When we stripped that down, everything was still perfect condition. If I didn't have a kill switch when it spun, I would have, obviously I put my foot to the floor because it's pulled us forward. If that went in wide open throttle, the motor would be gone. Like, I wouldn't be able to salvage anything.
Yeah.
So
You would have had more damage than what was already caused to you and the boat, which obviously once you recovered and you're back and you bounce back, all this sort of thing, it makes a difference. You're not just up for new everything. Like you said, as bad as the situation is, you got to take the positives out of it. You can salvage the motor. If you didn't have your life jacket on, you probably would have had nothing to clip your kill cord to, and
you just have it sitting next to you.
yeah. So
Very different story.
hopefully people can just take some learning things away from this, like wearing the life jacket.
If one person puts their life jacket on the day, or one person checks their thing, it's done its job.
Yeah, and it's a roll-on effect, a snowball effect. So if you put your life jacket on, the next thing is your kill cord clips to the life jacket.
She'll be back the boat. It'll be back better than ever one day.
It's good. It's good that you've got that attitude, and
You'll see me out in a boat very shortly.
yeah,
Watch the space.
it's not going to slow him down. I didn't plan on it to be this. This is the way I would meet Dan, but you know,
You were there on the day, and you saved me, so I'm glad I met you that way anyway. 'Cause if you weren't there and you boys weren't there, it would have been.
yeah, it was a group effort, and that's sort of found. I've only been boating for like coming up to 3 years now, and the boating community is great, and everyone's willing to help. And
I mean, everyone's offered to help in, and I'm happy to do it. I'm not like, I never really accept help, but everyone's offered to. It's like, well, what do you need? Do you need any bits to get it going and stuff? And it's such so awesome.
all right, well, thanks for your time, Dan. I'm sure he'll be in touch and he'll keep us in the loop.
It's already in motion.
We look forward to Dan throwing his leg back over the horse and getting out there again. So, thanks again.
Too easy, mate.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Are they both 300? Yeah, no.